Hello everyone, welcome to CGM, Comics Games Media. Today I'm going to be giving my spoilers review of Suicide Squad. So unfortunately, there's a lot of controversy regarding this movie. Unfortunately, the DC movies have had bad luck now with Man of Steel, Batman vs Superman, and Suicide Squad. However, for this movie though, I don't think it's well deserved here. I think this is a much better movie than what critics are giving it. I did agree to the critics to some degree with Batman v Superman, but not for Suicide Squad. So let's start off with the cameos. I really like the Flash sequence. He was there to catch Captain Boomerang, which I should have expected. After all, he is a Flash villain, which is awesome. We got to see Batman again, and he wasn't killing people, which is great news. The only concern now that I have is, why is he killing people in Batman v Superman, but not killing people in Suicide Squad? Because Deadshot was in prison 9 months. Well, he was in prison for 9 months, so this happened before BVS, when he put Deadshot in jail. So he will let a killer who kills like hundreds of people walk away, or sorry, just go to jail, but he'll kill common thugs, which doesn't make any sense to me, and also like people like the Joker and Harley Quinn. Hopefully they can explain this in the future. And I also really loved when Batman just punches Harley Quinn when she's underwater. That was hilarious. What really annoyed me in this movie was when Enchantress was doing this. I'm gonna kill the human race. You guys are all gonna bow to me. You can see how stupid I look from doing that. It was just really stupid from seeing Enchantress doing that. And then like pretty much the entire time when she was by that stupid portal. It was really stupid. And also the fact that she could just pull all the Suicide Squad's weapons away, but she was still fighting them hand-to-hand combat. It just doesn't make sense logically. So I don't understand why they was there. It was a cool scene, them fighting hand-to-hand, but again, it just made it redundant then by doing that. So it was stupid to put that in the first place. Some people may have had a problem with the introduction of some of the characters, but I really enjoy them. It's kind of reminded me of Borderlands, if you played that. When a character gets introduced, you create a quick page of like their name and like the summary. So we got to see like their abilities, skill sets, personality traits. One thing people noticed I didn't get to see or notice was that in Harley Quinn's page, it mentions that she killed Robin, which is interesting because I'm pretty sure most people missed that. So it would have been really weird or really strange why they decided to add that into that short page summary instead of just showing like a flashback or something else, which would have made it much more impactful. So like in Batman v Superman, there was a lot of speculation of who Jenna Malone's character was playing. So there was a lot of speculation as well of who Scott Eastwood's character was playing. People believed he was going to be playing Dick Grayson because after Forever Evil in the comic books, he lost his identity and he became a secret agent working for Spiral. So people kind of believed he was going to be a secret agent in the government here, working for Batman and finding out what's going on with the Suicide Squad. So I was kind of hoping there would have been like a post-credit, or the mid-credit scene would have been him saying, Bruce, Joker and Harley are out of hiding, they're back out in Gotham again. And that would have like leading into the Batman movie. Because what we saw, we've already seen from the end of Batman v Superman and from the Justice League teaser, we already know Batman's going to go out and he'll recruit all these metahumans. So the scene is redundant, but at least it gets us excited because now at least we know DC and Warner Brothers are going to be putting mid-credit scenes and post-credit scenes in the future movies. Joker, as I mentioned in my spoiler-free review, he was okay. I didn't really get to see much of him to have a strong impression on me. What I noticed about this Joker was he was much different from what I've seen in the past, where Joker has an abusive relationship with Harley Quinn. He just uses her, he doesn't really care about her, but in this case, you can actually see Joker cares about Harley Quinn romantically. There was one great scene in that flashback when Harley's getting dumped into, or she jumps into the tank full of chemicals, and he's chemical, where Joker's walking away, and then all of a sudden he starts to get hesitant about leaving her, so he just like drops his jacket and runs off and jumps in there. Another moment when I thought Joker expressed his feelings for Harley was in the room when he was full of knives on the floor, when he's laying back and he's going it kind of felt near the end, the tone of his laugh kind of felt like he was crying a little, at least in my opinion. It kind of felt like he was sad that he wasn't able to be with Harley, at least for that moment. For Will Smith, I thought he was fantastic. As I mentioned before, he's just so charismatic. He just carries this movie as Deadshot. I've pretty much no complaints with this character at all. For Harley Quinn, there was this one scene which I felt was a little weird when she was just in the elevator going up and reading Joker's text and just fighting off those monsters. She could have just easily been doing what she has been doing in the past, where she's just walking and reading the text. But I don't know why the scene just like it happened so quickly and so suddenly. It just felt a little weird. Also, I don't think she deserves a whole solo film, because from Harley Quinn, it didn't seem like she was much of a character enough to have her own solo movie. Maybe like a Gotham Sirens movie where she teams up with like Poison Ivy or like Catwoman. Maybe that could be interesting, but again, I'm not clamoring for a Harley Quinn movie. I'd rather have them push Green Lantern forward. Also, regarding the whole romance between Harley Quinn and Joker, it felt a little weird when Joker almost died in that helicopter crash, and she just like she was just sitting on the car like this, and then when the Suicide Squad comes back and she's like, "Hey guys, I'm back," like, and I guess maybe could have felt for some remorse there for Joker, but it felt like she just got over it really quickly and didn't feel anything at all, which is kind of weird because in the flashbacks, sorry, not the flashbacks, the dream sequence, which where they have in the Enchantress battle, she's dreaming about having a family with Joker, which again just feels a little weird because she doesn't really show any emotion when Joker almost dies, and then all of a sudden she's dreaming about having this family with Joker. For people who are complaining about Slipknot, Slipknot, I honestly, he was just a throwaway character. He was just there to set up an example of like what happens when you don't follow orders. Your head's gonna explode. So I was never expecting much from Slipknot. Other people should have not expected much from this character as well. He was just in like one. When you saw him in the trailers, he was only like in one scene. He wasn't there anywhere else. So like you could easily tell this character wasn't not going to be an important role in this movie. Killer Croc could have been better. He could have been a lot more intimidating and bigger, like in his comic book counterpart, and said more. However, again, I just knew he was a supporting character. He's just there to be the muscle of the group, just there to be strong and have that brutality to him. So I wasn't expecting much with him. I was fine with the one-liners, but again, he could have been better, but I wasn't expecting much from him. Same thing with Captain Boomerang. Like, his quirk is he throws boomerangs. These are like C-list, B-list supervillains. You can't really take these guys seriously, at least in my opinion at the moment. Like, so I knew this guy wasn't going to add much to the film. He was just there to add those little quirks and little bits of humor, like teasing Slipknot of like, oh, these guys are just bluffing. They're not lying. They're lying about the explosives in our heads. We can easily get out of here. Or like carrying that unicorn constantly when he's fighting. Those are all just a bunch of silly moments. So again, just a character just to lighten up the mood of the tone of the movie, not to take seriously. He's not a major character. So Viola Davis, as I mentioned in my spoiler review, I think she was like one of the best performances in this movie. As Amanda Waller, she's very intimidating. Really, that one scene where she's in the building and she just kills her 5 agents, pretty much. That was really shocking because you just see how far she's willing to go and how intimidating she is. The only problem I had with Amanda Waller was when she kept doing this. Back away, or you guys are gonna die. Your heads are gonna blow off. You have Deadshot and you have Captain Boomerang, both in the same room. Both guys were killed with projectiles. You could have easily had a moment where Deadshot just shot something, ricocheted off the wall, bounced the phone off into the ground, and boom, take out Amanda Waller. I get it just for the story elements, but still, it's just like, I felt a little silly just holding that phone. Like, you should have had a better contingency plan. I'm pretty sure she probably did, but it wasn't ever explained. Also, I didn't buy that relationship between Rick Flag and Dr. June Moon. It felt very forced. They just like showed, oh, these guys are in a relationship together, so now you care about them. Like, you never felt any emotion regarding that. And she portrayed Rick Flag so easily. She just, when she transformed and grabbed and released her brother, like quickly, easily turned on him, didn't really care. There was no hesitation in any of that whatsoever. The only time I started to like Rick Flag more was then when he started in the second half, when he starts talking to the Suicide Squad in the bar, when he's starting to bond with them and like give the letters back to Deadshot, and then also near the end when he's crying and he's like, oh, give me June back, and he's like, he doesn't want to kill the heart at the moment because he wants to get her back first. The character I liked the most was shockingly El Diablo. I felt a lot of sympathy for this character. It was really cool and refreshing to see a criminal who wasn't part of like the Suicide Squad. He was hesitant to use his powers. He didn't want to. He was trying to redeem himself for what he did in the past, and he was afraid of what he was capable of. And when he was talking about his flashback in the bar scene, I felt really bad for this character, seeing as like he didn't want to do this, but he let his family die, and he's just trying to pay for his sins. And like when you see the put him this cup over his hand, you see that flaming figure that represents his wife and just dying from the smoke. You just feel a little bit of sympathy for this character. And when he came in the end in that fight, when he just turns into that demon, which was kind of shocking as well, which was really cool. And again, he just redeemed himself like when he died, and he's like, but he made a difference though. So as I said earlier in this review, this movie is getting a lot of controversy. It's like getting bombarded by reviews. It is not as bad as everyone says it is. It's not the best movie as well, but it's still a lot of fun. I really enjoyed myself. Go with an open mind, you'll probably have a lot of fun. Sure, the story is a little sloppy and the villain is weak. They should have done with a more small scaled down story of like they go to a foreign country and like retrieve some documents for the government, or like have the Joker as the main villain. At least that way you can have some significance for like why these characters are like Slipknot, Captain Boomerang. You can have like Captain Boomerang be like a master thief who can break into locks, or like Harley Quinn has the connection to the Joker so that you can talk it out, or at least have like a meeting scheduled, and then from there carried on. However, again, hopefully they can learn from this mistake and Batman v Superman with these dumb CGI monsters and just have like a more scaled down version with a personal fight that has some motivation behind it and some purpose. So for critics who are complaining about like how the characters are underutilized or or they're not getting enough material, I kind of knew this going in, so that's why I'm okay with most of the characters not getting enough to work with and having only a couple lines, because the Suicide Squad is made up of C-list and B-list supervillains. They're expendable characters. No one really cares a lot about these characters. There's not much backstory except for a couple. Like Deadshot and Harley Quinn, I'm cool with them and getting like 5-minute, 10-minute expositions of explaining who they are, but like easily you can explain Killer Croc, Captain Boomerang. I'm okay with that. I expected this going into the movie, so that's why my review is still positive. If you expected more, it makes sense why you would have a negative view on the movie. There's also a lot of reports saying that looks like there are two different versions of this movie. The original one by David Ayer, and then looks like what happened is they hired a trailer editing company that made the previous trailers, and they edited the movie to make it more fun and lighthearted. As much as I want the director to have his own vision and show it off to the public, I really enjoyed what they showed in this movie, so hopefully there's an extended cut later on that gets released. I can check it out and review that and see how that compares, but I really enjoyed what I saw, so can't really complain. Hopefully this can be redeemed in either Wonder Woman or Justice League, and that both fans and critics and audiences can enjoy this movie altogether. But in the meantime, let me know your favorite moments in the comments below. Thanks for watching and have a good one.